Alrighty, y'all. What's going on? I hope you're having an excellent day. Welcome back to the show. Now, today we're looking at something quite interesting, okay? We're looking at rally through a different scope here. You know, I love rally. I've been converted. Rally is just infinitely exciting, and especially compared to modern-day NASCAR, which I have just grown apart from, right? Rally is just, yeah, it's unreal. I think it's top dog for motorsports in my realm. Anywho, we're going to look at the top 3 craziest rally cheats. Now, this is pretty interesting, right? You know, no one likes cheating. No one likes a cheater, right? But in hindsight, when we're talking about it, you know, in games, in sports, it can be kind of interesting in hindsight because it's like it makes you think, well, it's kind of interesting to see what lengths people go to cheat. You know, sometimes they're ridiculous, sometimes maybe they're clever. And then it also is interesting to see how they went about it. How did they go about it and try to get away with it, right? So in this case, in racing, it's definitely a thing. And I think cheating has happened and probably will happen in pretty much any motorsport you can name. It's definitely happened in NASCAR, that's for sure, right? A lot of aerodynamic hacks, some C-pillar modification on Hendrick Motorsports, stuff like that, or some modern era ones, you know, messing with restrictor plates when we had those. Yeah, you know the deal. So I would love to hear what some of these teams in the WRC have come up with. This is from a smaller channel called The Motorsport Story, and it looks like a really, really cool channel. So I really encourage you to check out the link in the description so you can watch this whole video uninterrupted and definitely browse their channel. All right, let's get into it.
Here's a look at 3 of the best cases of rule bending in the World Rally Championship.
This is going to be interesting, I think. Here we go. The salty taste of defeat.
When it came to Group B rally, the Lancia O37 was an absolute beast.
Yeah,
it had a screaming supercharged
That's what
engine,
I learned.
Putting out 325 horsepower, tucked underneath a lightweight composite body.
Look at that. Just, again, let's get a look. Damn, is that thing a machine or what? Just look at it. What a freaking beast.
This was enough to put it on pace with supercars of its time. But it had one major weakness: rear-wheel drive.
That's right.
With the 1983 WRC season kicking off at the typically snow and ice-covered Rally Monte Carlo, Lancia knew that they were in trouble. Facing off against the legendary all-wheel drive Audi Quattro,
that's right.
Lancia knew the O37 would be no match if they encountered any slippery conditions.
True.
They could have just accepted their fate and tried for a third-place finish, but that's not the kind of guy Cesare Fiorio was.
If you want to compete in motorsport, you must know the rules you have to face. The gray zones of the rules. And it's always a big fight, but you must try to be a bit clever.
Wow.
The Lancia team principal,
there you go. That speaks volumes, doesn't it?
allegedly ordered road salt from Italy and spread it from a team truck along the more difficult stages to melt any snow or ice.
Oh, okay. This is getting interesting real quick here. Ordered road salt from Italy. And they're going out there, don't mind us. We're just in our team van here, our team truck, surveying, make sure everyone's good here. Don't mind us. Don't look at something's leaking out the back. Don't worry about it.
He even forced the French authorities into helping him salt the roads by arguing that he was looking out for the safety of spectators.
That's right.
Lancia did this in secret and even started out their rally on snow tires to blend in with the rest of the field. To everyone's confusion, just 4 kilometers into the rally, Lancia stopped to change tires to full slicks.
Oh.
They also stopped several more times throughout the rally mid-stage to alternate between slicks and studded tires, depending on the conditions.
Jeez.
The stops added about a minute each to their time. So were they worth it? You bet they were. With much of the snow and ice melted and their cars always on the proper tires for the road surface, Lancia flew through the rally to a 1-2 victory. First place Lancia driver Walter Röhrl even finished over 11 minutes ahead of the third place Audi Quattro. Not bad for a rear-wheel drive car at Rally Monte Carlo.
No kidding. So yeah, think about the immediate time frame that rally finishes. Lancia coming in with the 1-2 punch there in a very unforgiving rally course when we're talking about Monte Carlo, right? As well as not ideal conditions in certain parts of that course. Definitely would be a little bit like, look at all the tire changes they did. Wow, they went to slicks. They went back to studs. They finished 1-2, way ahead of, like, the hero of the series at the time. Like, the Audi, it's got all-wheel drive. It's just a monster as well. Should have kind of been more prepared for that. Should have been kind of front-running that particular rally, you would think. That one would have gotten interesting quick, and I'm sure people caught on like, yeah, something's a little bit fishy about that. Definitely a little bit. The wind beneath my bumper. Okay,
the next innovation on this list takes us back to 2003, with Ford's introduction of their Focus RS WRC 03 rally car.
Nice.
Compared with its predecessors, the car was vastly redesigned and featured notably larger front and rear bumpers.
Wow, that's actually a sharp-looking car, especially the 03 version. I mean, because look, it's a race car, it's rally. Actually, the 02 version looks cool, as if you did like a street build, right? I love these OZ racing wheels. Very nice. Very popular at that time period as well.
Initial speculation was that this was done for aero reasons. But it turns out Ford was hiding something really interesting under the rear bumper.
Oh.
At the time, WRC cars were required to run a 34mm air restrictor, which ultimately limited how much power their engines could produce.
Okay.
But Ford found a clever way to flow more air into their engine, making use of the car's oversized bumper.
Oh.
Underneath was a 45-liter titanium tank, which was connected to the engine's intake manifold by almost 4 meters of titanium pipe.
What the hell?
Before the pipe from the tank met up with the manifold, there was an electronically controlled butterfly valve, which Ford cleverly referred to as the idle control valve. More on this weird tank setup in a little bit. The car was also turbocharged and fitted with an anti-lag system, as were most rally cars of the time. So let's take just a moment to go over how that works. Anti-lag works by diverting intake air into the exhaust manifold and slowing down the firing of the fuel injectors and spark plugs such that they fire when the exhaust valves are open.
Right.
This all happens when the driver lets up on the throttle. The result is that an air-fuel mixture is ignited in the exhaust manifold, which creates a pressure wave and keeps the turbo spinning rapidly while the driver is out of the gas.
Right.
Sure, it's not good for the turbo, but it nearly eliminates any lag in power delivery that a turbo car would otherwise have. Ford's anti-lag system was different, though. Rather than only diverting air into the exhaust manifold, they also sent some of it back through the titanium pipe and into their bumper tank. Once the tank was pressurized, the butterfly valve would close, and the ECU would wait to open it up again until the driver demanded full throttle. Then, all of the stored pressurized air would force its way from the tank into the intake and help the engine make more power than was originally thought possible with the restrictor. Here's where a lot of stories get it wrong, though.
That's so this is one of those cheats where it's like, okay, you can honestly, in hindsight, appreciate learning how it worked, right? This is pretty extensive. Not terribly complicated, but it is extensive. I mean, we're talking about this big tank hidden underneath this exaggerated bodywork, right? With the tube going all the way to the front. This is definitely a commitment to cheating the rules, right? This isn't like some little, just a little chip you put in or something, right? And it makes it go crazy. Yeah, this is pretty elaborate.
Despite being a really innovative idea,
the
power increase was only estimated at somewhere in the neighborhood of 5%, and probably didn't contribute as much to the Ford speed as a lot of people think.
Yeah.
But you have to hand it to them. You can't even really call it a cheat, since it wasn't against any WRC rules at the time, and it was clever enough that the FIA banned the system after 3 rallies.
So that's one of those, it's kind of a gray area, right? Do you consider that cheating? I would love to hear your opinion on that. It's hard for me to interpret because I didn't watch rally at the time, of course. I'm still new to this sport, as well as, I'm definitely no expert on the rules. Of course not. But hearing, if that's true, hearing that it didn't technically break any rules, it was just more of a gray area that was definitely frowned down upon once it was discovered, and then, of course, written out of existence, with a change in the rules or whatever. I guess I would still lean towards considering it cheating because I'm sure they knew that they were, I guess getting away with something, right? And they kind of made the effort of hiding it, right? It's not like this was displayed for all to see. So I think that's why I leaned more towards that was cheating, but it was very clever, and you got to give them I guess you got to applaud the effort. Granted, if that's true that it really made 5% or less power increase, then, it's not that impressive, I guess, in the grand scope. But it's interesting, for sure. They were onto something, it looks like, right? Now, at the same time, it's not like something that was just a blatant, like, slap in the face to everyone that was, say, completely hidden and, gave this thing, like 800 horsepower, whereas everyone else had 400 or something. That would be blatant cheating, and I don't care what it is. That's not clever. That's just kind of messed up and rude and kind of cowardly, right? I would love to hear your opinion on that. I think there's blatant cheats, and then I think there's gray area things that people try and take advantage of, and I guess I wouldn't put those as like the most malicious intent, right? I mean, if there's a gray area in the rules and people think you might be able to sort of get away with something that's not technically illegal, then maybe that's within their right. I don't know. It's hard to judge.
Even if you're not into rally, you've probably heard of the final cheat on this list, which also has to do with turbocharging.
Nice.
The
Celica.
1995 Toyota Celica turbo cheat is legendary in the world of motorsports, but you may not be familiar with how it actually worked. So let's focus on that. The 34mm air restrictor mentioned earlier was also a thing back in 1995, and Toyota wasn't happy about it. So they figured out a way to bypass the restrictor without visibly tipping off any WRC scrutineers.
Okay.
The Toyotas look very powerful today. Where's the extra power from?
Ooh.
I don't know. It's from here, mate.
That was rich. Oh, that guy's not good at cheating. That guy.
The Toyotas look very powerful today.
Okay, so they're immediately on to the Toyotas. Okay, I wish I would have seen this at the time. This probably would have had more impact, right? But I guess the Toyotas are looking mighty fast. They're on to them. Where's the extra power coming from? And this guy's just like, I don't know. Maybe right here. Like, dude, come on. That was so bad. I got to watch that again. That was funny.
Where's the extra power from? I don't know. It's from here, mate.
It all came down to these things. Simple spring washers that you can buy at your local hardware store.
Whoa, I was going to say Home Depot for the win. Spring washers. You can get those for like under $1 for a pack of them.
Toyota mounted a set of these underneath the restrictor, so they weren't detectable during technical inspection.
Wow.
The magic happened when the intake tube was connected up to the turbo. The tube was fitted with a metal cuff, which clamped down against the spring washers when the hose clamps were tightened. This caused the spring washers to force the restrictor forwards, leaving a 5mm gap between the turbo inlet and the restrictor. Now, air was able to flow both through and around the restrictor,
wow,
which reportedly allowed almost 25% more air into the turbo.
Now that's a big deal.
This bumped Toyota's power output from 300 to 350 horsepower, which is quite a noticeable gain.
Yeah.
Especially when you
compared to the last one, that is a big gain for sure.
Consider how simple the modification was.
Damn.
Unfortunately for Toyota, the FIA eventually caught wind of the cheat, and they were banned from the WRC for the rest of the season, in addition to the following 1996 season.
Wow. So, look, that is a cheat. Now, it may be a clever one, and in a way, how simple it is. Cleverly simple. Yeah, I mean, look, I'd say that's fair that they got a pretty harsh punishment. Banned for the season would have made sense. Bad for the next season as well is definitely pretty harsh. But I can't say I disagree with it because look, they were getting a big power increase that clearly must have been, semi-obvious to a lot of people because they were bringing it up in interviews and things. So I wonder how that got leaked because that seems like something that's just so hidden. So obviously, you're eventually going to have attention on you if you're that much more powerful and they're performing so well. But then, how are they going to find where you're finding this power, right? That seemed like something, something going for it was the fact that it was so hidden. So I wonder, if there was a whistleblower somewhere, right? If someone leaked a bit of info, something spread around and it got in the wrong ears, and yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. If you know how that eventually was found, let me know, of course, with any of these, your stories that you have. But this was a really good one, man. Very
Even though
interesting.
the FIA was upset with Toyota, President Max Mosley couldn't help but compliment the cheat, calling it the most ingenious thing he had seen in 30 years of motorsport.
True.
So there you have it.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said at the beginning, obviously cheating sucks in theory, right? It does. I think that. I think most people agree with that. But you got to applaud in motorsports, especially. I think there's just there's room for cheating in motorsports because, you're not dealing with just, players on a field and a ball, right? You're dealing with complex machines. And there's a lot of aspects to motorsports. There just is. And that's where motorsports are so different than a lot of other sports, in my opinion. And I think that just grandness of it all definitely leaves room for some sleight of hand stuff going on, right? So, you kind of almost got to applaud the effort, right? The daringness to cheat at a crazy sport on a stage like WRC, and to do it in a way that was almost really clever, like the Toyota one. So it is an interesting thing, right? It's really weird, but very, very fun to watch. That was awesome. Something I've never gotten to really cover when it comes to motorsport. I'm sure that we can lean this into its own miniseries. So please, any of your stories or cheating examples that you have heard of and know about, if you would love to share with me, please do so in the comments or, through email or something. And also suggest any videos, like this that maybe we should take a look at. This was really, really fun and really interesting. Please throw a thumbs up on there if you did enjoy yourself in this video. And, of course, subscribe to be part of this amazing community we have here. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. And until next time, y'all, catch you later.